Welcome to Untangled Thoughts. To more videos about psychology, do subscribe this channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the different terms that define psychology and about the two main psychologists who viewed psychology in a different perspective. As we all know that psychology is a combination of two Greek words, that is psych meaning soul and logos meaning explanation. So earlier, psychology has been defined in different terms like soul, mind, consciousness and behavior. The definition of psychology goes back to defining it as a study of soul. The inability to provide concrete scientific evidences led the Greek philosophers to define it in the terms of mind. Again, hence people couldn't figure out what mind is and couldn't provide concrete evidences that support the existence of mind. Psychologists and philosophers defined psychology in terms of consciousness. When it comes to consciousness, we all know it involves introspection method. Introspection method is subjective and introspection method couldn't find the consciousness of animals. Because of this, the definition of psychology in terms of consciousness was rejected. And then finally, psychology was defined in terms of behavior. And here we are going to talk about the two different psychologists and their perspective on psychology. So William James defined psychology as the science of mental processes, both its phenomenon and their condition. So William James is a psychologist and a philosopher. He is the father of American psychology and he contributed to functionalism. So he was influential in the understanding of how the mind works. So basically, James proposed focus should be on the functions or purpose of the brain, and he was also suggested to look for the underlying cause of behavior and the mental processes involved. Secondly, we are going to talk about Wilhelm Wundt. Wilhelm Wundt is the founder of modern psychology and father of experimental psychology. He separated psychology from philosophy and biology and became the first person to be called a psychologist. So, Wilhelm Wundt defined psychology as investigation of conscious process in the modes of connection peculiar to them. Wilhelm Wundt basically wanted to study the structure of the human mind, whereas James wanted to study the functions of the brain. So, there was a contradictory view on defining psychology always. Wilhelm Wundt argued that conscious mental state could be scientifically studied using introspection. So, basically, William Wundt contributed to structuralism and William James contributed to functionalism. So, this video is about the gist of the different terms that defined psychology, and finally we are coming to APA's definition of psychology. As we all know, American Psychological Association was formed in July 1892 and it was organized by G. Stanley Hall. So APA defines psychology as the scientific study of the mind and behavior. Due to the contradictory views on psychology and the inability to rely on any particular definition of psychology, currently we all stick to the definition given by APA, that is, psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior. To anyone who doesn't know much about psychology or to a layman, we can always use this definition given by APA. And this video is all about the gist of defining psychology, and I hope this video was helpful. For more such videos, do subscribe Untangled Thoughts.